Hey guys, Max here, and welcome back to Max Effects Builds, where today we will be taking a look at LEGO Transformers Impeller. So, moving Micro-Me off to the side, just to get out of the way, most people probably don't know what an impeller is. An impeller is part of a turbocharger. I believe it's the part that drives the vacuum of the thing. I couldn't tell you the exact terms. I could tell you how a turbocharger works, but I don't know why I named that. The vehicle I based her off of is not turbocharged in the slightest. And yes, it is a she. Impeller here is a fembot. So, let's take a look around the vehicle mode, and then we'll do other things, I guess. So, Impeller here, I based her alt mode off of Hummers, like the Hummer H2 and H1. I made it sort of a mashup of both of those vehicles. So, taking a look around, it is a bit of a longer vehicle. She's a bigger SUV. It does have this gap here. I wish I could do something about it, but unfortunately, just due to the way she transforms, there's nothing I can do about it. It doesn't look awful to me, so I don't mind it. She does roll. She does have gap fillers here. These used to be a gap. I somehow got that to work. Side profile is pretty nice. You actually have a C pillar instead of a continuous windshield. A window. Could use a B pillar, but other than that, it's pretty good. Around the back, she does have this little lip of a bumper here, but you can see that sort of as a step that some larger SUVs have. Taillights, little exhaust pipes. If you can make out the detail, this build is black, so my camera is having a little bit of a harder time picking it up. Other side, completely the same. There's a better look at the side view. It's more in the light now. It's just kind of hard to see just because it's black. And around the front, I'm really happy with this front end design. I got this bull bar up here. Got some turn signal, fog lights, turn signals, and headlights. And then a nice chromed out grille, like Hummers should have. So, moving on to comparisons. Here she is with Impoundimus Prime. And I think this scales really nicely, to be honest. She's a larger SUV, and she scales well with this sports car that Impoundimus Prime is. So moving him off to the side. Here she is with Buster. Nice. Here she is with Heatbane. Earth form. This one, she's a bit of a bigger car, so I'll let it slide. And yes, I do have her weapon just kind of stored there, but here's Impeller with Heatbane. I kind of see them as rivals in my lore. Both fembots, both kind of more beefed up. You'll see exactly what I mean when I transform her. And of course, here she is with a minifigure, as you saw earlier. Now, in terms of accessories, she has one, because she really doesn't need them, but I wanted to build her some ranged weapon of some sort. So I built this giant cannon. Now, it doesn't attach like a standard figure would. Take, for example, here is Blowout. He uses this clip and just a bar to hold his gun, if I didn't fling him away. This weapon has a clip on it, not a bar. You'll see why later. But to put this on the alt mode, on the C filler you have these little robot claws here, and it just kind of slides on. You gotta be careful when putting it on, because it's a very weird connection. But the gun can mount to the side of the truck mode here. So, moving this to the side, we can now get into transformation. And she has a pretty interesting transformation. It's not an ordeal to go through either. It's pretty fun. So, we'll lift up the camera here. Just like that. So I have some room to operate. And we will get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come to the back. And these sections here break off. No. These clips back here are supposed to rotate them down. And those will be your feet. So, next, swing these sections out. They bring the gap pillars with them. And they just kind of rest up here. We need these for clearance. This also gives us the clearance now to split the legs. They're on some maxi-fig joints. Same ones that were used on Impoundimus V1, actually, if you're curious, because I only have 2. But there's the legs. Now we can get down to the top section here of the vehicle. So it'll kind of shift back a bit. The gap filler may pop off, but do that on the other side. Yeah, it might pop off. It shouldn't. I probably should have opened up the arms a little bit, but it's an easy fix. Like, you just don't have the arms flush. So now that's back on. We can take these sections now and rotate them up and bring this entire assembly down on the little Among Us clips here, and then swing it around and just kind of leave it like that. So up, back, forward, rotate. So now let's get rid of the gap fillers after we rotate the arms here. So to get rid of them, we just rotate it around like this, and then they just fold up just like that. And now they're flush with the arm, and you can rotate down the claws. Do the same on this side. I'll try and get this one better on camera. So rotate it around. If my dumb camera will focus. Thank you. And fold down. And then just fold out the claws. So we're almost there. Now she has limbs. And now all that's left to transform is the truck front. So the front of the truck's just going to fold around onto her back because it's not needed. And then the head will just come down. And there you go. There you have Impeller in her robot mode. Now, yes, I know what you're probably instantly seeing. If I don't mention them, I'm not going to mention them. If you don't see them, good on you. If you do see them, get your head out of the gutter. Anyway, if you do see them, they're there actually for structural rigidity. Nothing else. It was purely consequential that they were added. If it were up to me, they wouldn't be here. I can't believe I had to say this, but this is YouTube we're talking about. Anyways, here's Impeller's robot mode. I'm going to lift this up just a tiny bit. So, taking a look around, she has these very monster-like proportions. But she is a fembot, so obviously, I guess. She's got these big old beefy arms, big old legs, stumpy torso. She's got this little head, but I think it's part of the look. Turning around to the side, you can see that her truck truck front just kind of rests on the back. I don't mind how that looks. My figure's face forward, not the wall, so I don't see this. Plus, I don't think it's that bad of a backpack. And if you really don't like it, it's held on by two droid arms. It comes off really easily. So I think I really am happy with how this build turned out. There was a previous version to this build, 2 actually, but the first one turned into a sports car very similar to Impoundimus. But it had a lot of weird tolerances and clearance issues, especially for a Lego Transformer. So I ended up taking that one apart. Then I built the second attempt, which also turned into a Hummer. But that one had a lot of weird proportions. The legs were too short. The arms were too long. I just wasn't happy with it. And then I built this one. And this one I'm fine with sharing because I really am happy with how this one turned out. So, well, we already looked around it. Let's talk about some posability. Posability-wise, she has this butterfly joint at her shoulder. The head can look up and down, by the way. It just doesn't need to turn because it's a circle. But it's got that butterfly joint. The arms can go forward and back. Full 360 on some stud friction. Arms can go up, down. It's got 180 degrees of elbow bend. And then she has these individually articulated fingers to give her like the look of claws. So, just they can pose however you want them to look, I guess. Same with the other arm. Nothing at the waist. Her hip joints can move in and out since they are maxifig hands. She can move them forward, back, that far. If you move the backpack out of the way, she can move them back further. It's the only drawback to it, to be honest, but it's not that bad. It can move out of the way. Just resettle that. She does have this little knee articulation here just due to transformation, but I don't use it because it looks kind of awkward. But yeah, that's that. Now we can get onto comparisons, then I'll go over some weaponry, and then I will stop wasting your time. So here she is with Impoundimus again in alt mode. Here she is with Blowout. Pretty neat. Here she is with Buster. I gotta get him a new head joint. It's just dead at this point. And here she is with a minifigure. Perfect. Now you've seen that. You can talk about accessories now. So, well, weaponry. Because her accessory isn't the only weapon she has. But let's talk about it. So to mount this in robot mode, just take the little claw and rotate it 90 degrees. And then it just clicks onto her shoulder. Just like that. Now she has this giant old shoulder cannon. It does restrict posability a little bit. But, you're not going to get too many insane poses out of her, to be honest. But now we can talk about her built-in weapons. She has some arm blades. So, you have to fold up these two fingers. Fold this one out of the way too, just for now. But basically unfold the gap filler from the truck mode. Rotate it out, well, without popping it off. It is held on by like a thread, really. But rotate it out, and then slide the tile forward. Fold down this top finger to kind of finish it off. And there you have an arm blade, basically. If you want to make it look more natural, just have it folded down like that. And there you go. Now she's got this little arm blade. I know it's more like a wrist dagger, kind of like the Assassin's Creed hidden blade, but like, yeah, it's cool either way. So, just kind of get her into a pose here. There you go. That's pretty awesome. I really like that. Yeah, there you go. That's basically everything I needed to talk about with this figure. It's an amazing figure. I'm glad I built it. Thank you all so much for watching today. It really means a lot if you leave a like, subscribe, comment if you really feel so inclined to do so. And until next time, this is Max, and I will see you next time. See you guys. Bye-bye.